Shrestha manamapi Suchiputam Atra Surupam Rupam Tasakrajamuri Purim Maturim Goshtvatim Radha Kundam Kiribaram Aho Radhika Madhvasam Prapto Yasya Pratita Kripaya Shri Guru Tam Natosmi Gurave Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Nama Ananda Leelamaya Vigrahaya He Mabhadyabhyaschavi Sundaraya Tasmai Mahaprema Rasapradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Bhaktya Bhina Aparadha Lakshay Chiptasta Kamaditaram Kamadi Kripa Mahitam Shanam Prapanna Brinde Namaste Charanaravindam Brinde Namaste Charanar Govinda Damo Dharammadaveti Govinda Damo Dharammadaveti Govinda Damo Dharammadaveti Govinda Damo Dharammadaveti. Everyone. Hey Krishna, Hey Yadava, Hey Saketi, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti, Sham Sundar Shikhanda Shekhar, Smarahas Murali Manora, Radhikaras Khamama Kripanidhe, Supriyachana King Karim Kuru. Tavai Najivami Tayabina Iti Vikyaya Devi Tam Namam Chanantikam. First of all, I offer my Sastang Dandavat Puspanjali, my heart like flowers thousands of times, at the lotus feet of my holy master, my supremely worshipable spiritual Gurudev, Asmadiya Paramaradhatama Guru Pada Padma, Nitilila Pravisht Om Vishnu Pada Ashtottara Satasri Rupanuga Acharya Varya Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. Secondly, I offer my pranam thousands of times at the lotus feet of my Param Gurudev, to Srila Prabhupada and to all of our Sri Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Parampara. And finally, I offer my pranam to all my dear spiritual brothers and sisters, all Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, Vancha Kalpaturasa Kripasa Patinam Pavane Vaishnavi Pyo Namana. Shri Gurudev Ki. Shri Guru Mata Ki. By the course of Mahasaya Sri Gurana Gauranga, yesterday we began to discuss the very beautiful description of Krishna Prem, which has been given by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraja Goswami in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraja Goswami Pad, when he was writing this, He was in his very old age. He said, "My eyes are dim, I can barely see. My hand is trembling, I can barely write." But still, he was composing this Chaitanya Charitamrita. In the end, he said, "Oh, there is something I want to say. If I say it, then I could be accused of being proud. If I don't say it, then I will be guilty of ungratefulness. So I don't want to be akritagya, ungrateful. So I will reveal that Madan Mohan, Sri Radha Madan Mohan told me to write this." So you should understand that this Chaitanya Charitamrita is not on the level of any novel, fiction, or even factual accounts manifested by a human being who is infested with the defects, Brahm, Pramada, Vipralipsa, Karnapatav, 4 types of defects, but rather this is divine sound incarnation of the combined form of Radha Krishna themselves, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is my experience in my life. I have had the great fortune to associate with very elevated, advanced, elderly Vaishnavas. And towards the end of their pastimes in this world, before leaving, they gave me the same advice. Take shelter of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, he used to say, if there's a catastrophe, a disaster, earthquake, or a flood, and you have to immediately leave your home, just grab Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita. Take it with you. Everything else you can leave. But then if you are in one place and you cannot hold on to all 3 of them, then the water is rising. You can throw away the Bhagavad Gita. But then if the situation becomes so critical that you have to make a choice between Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita, then what will you do? He said, you hold on to the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Why? Because if the Chaitanya Charitamrita will survive, then all the truths and all the nectar of Srimad Bhagavatam can be revived again. But if the Chaitanya Charitamrita is lost, then there is no scripture from which the nectar which is there can be revived again in this world. So Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Pad, he mentions that what I want to say, it actually should not be spoken in public. Who is qualified for this confidential revelation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? He said, but if I don't write it down, then it may disappear from the world. So what can I do? I will write in such a way that the devotees who are like cuckoo birds, who relish the sweet buds of the mango tree, they will be able to taste it and realize what I'm saying. But the non-devotees and materialists who are just like camels chewing thorns, they will not understand. And then he began to write all the very beautiful flow of rasa of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So you should know, as Prabhupada Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur has said, Shabda Artha is not Shastra Artha. The meaning of the words is not the meaning of the scripture. Surprising. Recently there was one sannyasi and he read this and he wrote to me, what does that mean? So it can be bewildering, even to persons who are very committed and practicing for many years. Shabda Artha is not Shastra Artha. The meaning of the scripture is not the meaning of the words. Because the Rasa Kavya is the meaning is in the Dwani, in the suggestion. And even if one can theoretically understand the suggestion, then my Gurudev used to say, theoretical knowledge means no knowledge. Realization is knowledge. Someone may say, do you know that Krishna is God? Yes, I know that Krishna is God. But this is not the same as having the darshan of Krishna. Because your mental and intellectual images of who Krishna is not the same as actual Krishna. Krishna is non-different from his holy name. You can love Krishna. I love Krishna very much. I've seen all the Krishna Darling of Vrindavan cartoons. I love him. But actually, how much are you chanting? How much you love Krishna can only be understood by how attached you are to Krishna's holy names. And if chanting is dry and boring, then loving the cartoons will not save you. Because actually the holy name is Krishna. He is fully transcendental. Those who are surrendered and have the Das Abhiman, the mood, I am the servant of Gurudev, Vaishnavas and Hari. Then when Kripa, their mercy descends, we can realize the nectar of the holy names. So yesterday we began to discuss on the basis of the revelation of Srila Krishna's Kaviraja Goswami's Chaitanya Charitamrita, his description of Krishna Prem, and particularly this point that Krishna Prema eka apurva prabhav Guru samulaga ke karo dasya bhav. Love for Sri Krishna has this one apurva, unprecedented prabhav influence. And that is those who are senior to Krishna, those who are equal to Krishna in status, and those who are junior to Krishna in status in his lila. They all become filled with dasya bhav, the mood of a servant. It doesn't mean they change their rasa to dasya rasa. In Vrindavan, there is no shuddha dasya rasa, pure dasya rasa. Pure dasya rasa is found in Ayodhya. Hanuman has his pure mood of a servant. But in Vrindavan, Krishna is the young son of Nanda Maharaj. Now Nanda Maharaj has servants in his palace and he is the king of Braja. So there are servants of Krishna, but they're not Krishna's servants, they're his father's servants. So they love Krishna. But even if they are servants, their dasya bhav is mixed with, if they're older than him, it's mixed with vatsalya, parental love. Or Krishna's a boy and they love him with some parental affection. If they're equal, then they have some sakya bhav mixed there. So, this is the nature of Krishna Prem in Vrindavan. Even if one is in the Madhurya, Vatsalya, or Sakya Rasa, or Dasya, which is not pure but mixed with parental love or friendship, then everyone in the flow of the Leela, in moments of intense prem, then what happens? Paripakasya dainyasya prema jashan vitanvate parasparam tayo ittam karya kana tekshate. Humility and prem, dainya bhav and prem, humility and love, they are paraspara, mutually the cause and effect of each other. So the more love you have, then the more humility comes. The more humility comes, the more the love increases. So in the moments when the waves of Dainya Bhav come, then those devotees, they become momentarily dislodged from their absorption in the Madhurasa or Sakhirasa or Vatsalya Rasa, and just feel, oh, I am the servant of Krishna. So yesterday we discussed the example given by Krishna Das Kaviraja. Manaso vrityo nasyo Krishna padam buddhasraya vacho bidayane nam kayastat pravanadishu. When Uddhav had come to Vrindavan from Mathura and spent some months there with the Brajbasis, on the day that he was leaving, then Nanda Maharaj and his brothers, the uncles of Krishna, came and they gave gifts to Uddhav. And Nanda Maharaj spoke these words, because Uddhav had told him, Krishna is everywhere, like a fire inside wood. And just as by rubbing the wood you can see the fire, even though it was invisible before, so in the same way, Krishna is everywhere. If you do sadhana bhakti, then you can realize Krishna's presence everywhere. So Nanda Maharaj, he can never think Krishna is the Paramatma, the Supreme Soul. He knows Krishna is my son only. But anyway, Uddhav has said these things. So out of sensitivity and to reciprocate with Uddhav, then he's saying, oh, may my mind always be absorbed in Krishna's lotus feet. May my words always glorify, my voice always glorify his names. May my head always bow down at his feet. So it is not that Nanda Maharaj will feel like this every day, but in some extremely tender moments, due to the pain of separation, he experiences the Prema Mahavarta. That is a bewilderment, a reversal. Avarta means a whirlpool. So if there's some shallow water, you won't see a whirlpool. A whirlpool appears in deep water. So because Nanda Maharaj's love is so deep, then sometimes in separation he may have the Mahaprem Mahavarta, a whirlpool in his love. And so though he's a parent and he feels Krishna is my son, yet drowning and spinning in the whirlpool of love for Krishna and the pain of separation and humility, then he may speak like this, like a servant. So Srila Krishna's Kaviraja Goswami, he's expressing most confidential things. Only those who are deeply chanting Harinam every day, at least 64 rounds every day, they will, after many, many years, gradually have the melting, the softness of heart to realize the nectar of these words of Nanda Maharaj. So Nanda Maharaj only feels, I am the father of Krishna. Krishna is my son. But due to the waves of humility, then there may be a whirlpool, a bewilderment, and he can speak in this way. It doesn't mean that he's in Dasya Rasa, that Dasya Rasa is something inferior to Vatsalya Rasa. No, but this is an intensification of his Vatsalya Rasa. So then, Srila Krishna's Kaviraja Goswami, he gives another example of the cowherd boys. We also touched on that yesterday. Pada Sambahanam Chakru, this verse, where it's described that after Krishna has been playing a long time with his friends, and Krishna's become hot, he's covered in perspiration, he's quite fatigued, then his friends invite him, oh, we've made one bed of leaves, just come and lie down here comfortably. And Krishna said to his friends, yes, but there are thousands of friends who've made thousands of beds. He said yes, and then Krishna, he expanded into thousands of forms and went and lay down on the beds of flowers of all the different cowherd boys. So that's why he's called here Padasambahanam chakru kechitasya mahatmana. Krishna is Mahatma. He is a great soul. That means he can reciprocate everyone's love. So each boy thought that, I am so fortunate that Krishna only came and lay down on the bed of petals that I have made for him. Kechitasya. Some of them were massaging Krishna's lotus feet. Some of them means sometimes two boys at the same time were massaging his feet, others massaging his legs. Sometimes they would swap and then other boys would massage. Or sometimes Kechit means some boys were massaging, means in so many places all over where Krishna was lying down in different forms. So apare hatapatmano, and some boys were hatapatmana. That means hatapatma, their sins are destroyed. Vyajanai, samavijayan, they took leaves and they were fanning Krishna. So here, hatapatmano, these boys, they are Krishna's eternal associates. How can Shukadev Goswami say hatapatmano, that their their sins are hata, they've been destroyed? No, this is not the correct interpretation. Here, hatapatmano means this is a bahuvrihi samas, a special type of compound. It indicates he was being massaged by those boys by whose grace a person becomes free from all sins. When you glorify the associates of Krishna, you become free from all sins. Otherwise, actually becoming free from sin, even Namabhas can do this. Not a pure holy name or pure glorification. So here sin means the obstacle to serving Krishna. In other words, those boys whose glories remove in our life all obstacles to our possibilities to serve Krishna. They are so glorious. They were fanning Krishna. So, generally, if someone is a friend, then friends, they enjoy together. They climb trees together, they wrestle together, they swim together, they rest together. But here Krishna is resting and the boys are not resting. They're massaging him and fanning him and some are singing for him. Why? It indicates that their Prem has become so intense. A whirlpool has appeared there and they are taking the position like Krishna's servants. Dasya Bhav has come. They have not gone into Dasya Rasa. But it is the Krishna Prema Eka Purva Prabhav. It is the unprecedented influence of Prem that it causes the mood of Das to appear in Krishna's associates in Vrindavan, even though there's no pure Dasya Bhav in Braja. So now, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he doesn't give this example, but in one commentary of Vishwanath Thakur, he's given the example even of Balaram Prabhu. In, you may find 10th canto, chapter 13. Keyam va kuta ayata daivivanar utasuri prayomayastu me bharto nanya mepi vimohini. Here Balaram is saying, who is this mystic power? Where did it come? Where did this mystic power come from? Is it Daivi? Is it coming from the demigods? Nari, is it coming from some human being? Utasuri, or is it from Asura, some demon? And then he said, no. This mystic power must be coming from my Bhartu, my master. That means Krishna. Because no one else can bewilder me. So the context is this, that when Lord Brahma, he tried to steal away the cowherd boys and the calves of Sri Krishna and hide them in a cave for 1 year. Actually, he could not. Each and every cowherd boy is 1,000,000 times powerful than Lord Brahma. They're associates of Krishna. How can Brahma steal them? It's impossible. Anyway, Krishna wanted to perform a special pastime. So Yoga Maya just covered those boys And they were just sitting on the bank of Jamuna. Even Krishna could not find them. Yogamaya hid them from Krishna. And the Mahamaya made copies of the boys in the cave. So Brahma thought, I have stolen the boys. And Krishna himself expanded himself and became each and every boy and each and every calf for a whole year. So when a year was almost over, then one day, Krishna and Balaram, they were taking the calves, and they were walking in the valley of Giriraj Govardhan. If you go around the tail of Govardhan, Putri Lota, past the Apsara Kund and Naval Kund, and then you're on your way back, you come back through the Kadamba Kandi, and you're going that way. Before you get to Surabi Kund, they were at that place. And as Krishna, Balaram and the cowherd boys and calves were walking in the valley of the mountain, on the top of the hill, the cowherd men were there with the cows, and they had the calves that were already, they had cows, and these cows were with little calves that had just been born. But what happened? The cows on the top of the hill gave up their calves that had just been born, and they ran down the hill to go and show their love and affection to their calves which had been born in previous years. So that never happens. The men tried to stop the cows from running down from the hill. And then these older calves from drinking their milk. They tried to stop them, but they failed. And then they became upset, angry with their sons who were at the bottom in the valley. And they came down the valley and they were going to chastise them. But when they saw their sons, their hearts just melted and tears came in their eyes, and they embraced them and sniffed their heads. And Balaram Prabhu was watching all of these things and thinking, how is this? How can the mothers give up the newly born calves and go to the older calves? And how is it that the cows are showing as much affection to the calves as they show to Krishna? And how is it possible that the cowherd men, they're showering their own children with affection just like they show affection to Krishna? Balaram was thinking in this way. So actually Balaram, he was covered by Yogamaya. All those cows and calves and boys, they were actually Krishna. That's why the cows were loving their calves just like they love Krishna. Why the cowherd men were loving their sons just like they love Krishna. Because it was Krishna. It actually was Krishna. That's the mystery. But Balaram did not know. We should understand that these type of anomalies were going on for a whole year, almost a whole year, but Balaram never noticed. So why did he notice on this day? Why? Because though he was covered by Yogamaya, by the will of Krishna, because Yogamaya is the Agatana Patiyasi Shakti, the power who can make the impossible possible. Yogamaya detects the desire in the heart of Krishna and makes the whole world move in order to fulfill that desire. She is the bij of Vikar in Swarup Shakti. Yogamaya is the seed of transformation of the whole spiritual world. And she detects the desire of Krishna and manifests everything to fulfill those desires. So Krishna didn't want his brother to know, so Balaram did not know. Ekale Ishwar Krishna Arsabhabritya Yare Yaiche Seinachai Setaichi Karinritya. There is one supreme Ishwar controller, that is Krishna. And everyone else dances to his tune, including his own expansions. Balaram is Vaibhav Prakash, Krishna's very first expansion. Balaram is Krishna. Keshava Drita Haladar Rupa. Keshav, Krishna, has taken the form of Haladar. So Balaram is Krishna, but in the mood of Krishna's brother and servant and friend. So even Balaram, if Krishna does not want him to know something, he cannot know anything. So what to speak of us? If Krishna doesn't want to reveal something to us, how can we know it? So Balaram for almost a whole year, He did not know what was going on. And on this day, then all of a sudden, the question came. Why? Because Yogamaya withdrew 25%. You can understand, in this world, the persons who are covered by Maya, the external material energy, they don't even ask questions about life. They don't even have the questions. Who am I? Why am I here? What's the purpose of life? They're just going along in autopilot, controlled by their karma, without thinking, without questioning. So this is the power of Maya. And here Yogamaya was covering Balaram. Though extraordinary things were going on, for almost a whole year he did not even question. But now 25% went away, and Balaram thought, oh, this is extraordinary. What's going on? Then another 25% of Yogamaya disappeared. And then Balaram thought to himself, and he spoke this verse. Kayam va kuta ayata daiviva narya utasari. Where is this magic coming from? So his first question is it that all these boys and calves are actually demigods? Is it the Vimohini, the bewildering Shakti of the demigods? So Daivi. But then he thought, no. The Brijvasis, they don't have so much love for the demigods, so it cannot be them. He thought, Nari. Maybe it's some human, that means some rishi or a sage has manifested these boys. So then he thought, no, this cannot be. Utasuri, maybe, sometimes in Braja, demons take the form, just like Vatsasur took the form of a calf. Aristasur took the form of a bull. Sometimes the demons take the form of the animals or the human Brijvasis. So he thought, Asuri, have demons taken the form of these boys and calves? Then he thought, no, why? Nanya mepi vimohini. No, none of these creatures, the demigods or human sages or demons, they cannot bewilder me. Therefore, prayo mayastu me bhatur. It must be that my bhartu, he means my master. It must be my master has bewildered me. So now the question comes, why would Balaram call his younger brother his master? Yes. Because Krishna and Balaram are very close friends. And Balaram tells Krishna all of his secrets, and Krishna tells Balaram all of his secrets. But not related to Madhurya Rasa, but the other secrets. He would be too shy to tell Balaram anything about the gopis. And Balaram is smart, so he can understand things anyway, without Krishna saying, but he pretends that he doesn't know, so his younger brother will not be embarrassed. So, essentially, Krishna and Balaram, they confide in each other. But because Balaram realized, so then, first he questioned. 25% of Yogamaya went away and the question came. Then he thought, is this the influence of demigods, sages, or demons? When another 25% went away. And then another 25% went away, and he said, no, it cannot be those things. That's the fourth line. It cannot be any of those things. And then the last 25% of Yogamaya went away, and he realized, it must be Krishna. But he called Krishna master, and the reason is because even though Krishna and Balaram confide in each other their secrets, but he realizes, Krishna has done this trick, and he didn't tell me. So he feels that Krishna has done something where he is udasin, somewhat indifferent to him. And so where there's love, if the object of love, you have some fear that the object of love has become indifferent to you, then you feel worthless. And so a wave of dainya, a wave of humility came in the heart of Balaram. And even though he's the friend of Krishna, or he thinks himself older and superior and has some vatsalya mood to Krishna, but the dasya bhav came. It must be my master who has bewildered me, because no one else could do it. You see? So this is an example of how the Dasya Bhav manifests, brought to the surface by a wave of humility due to Prem. Another example in Sakyarasa. Now, the next verse that Krishna's Kaviraja Goswami uses, he wants to give an example from Madhurya Rasa. So he quotes the 6th verse of Gopi Geet. Braja Janatihan Vira Yoshitam Nija Janasmaya Dvangsana Smita Bhaja Sakeba Bhat Kinkarismano Jalaruhananam Charudarshaya. You know that from childhood, the Braj Gopis, they love Krishna. But they did not have the opportunity to meet with him. But when Sri Krishna was 8 years old, he became Kishore. Now an 8-year-old child is still a child, but in the previous Yuga, during the end of the Dwarpa Yuga, then Krishna being 8, he's like 15 or 16 years old. So when Krishna became 8 years old, on the full moon night of the Sharad season, he secretly went into the forest at the Bangsi Bhat and began to play on his flute. And Braj Gopis abandoned everything and came running to meet with him. And after some banter, after some teasing, when Krishna told them to go home and made them cry, then he revealed that he was just teasing them. Then he accepted them and the Rasa Leela began. But during this Rasa Leela, each and every gopi saw Krishna is dancing with me, only with me. How fortunate I am. And the garva, some pride came. This garva is not material pride. It is a spiritual ecstasy and it gives pleasure to Krishna. So there's nothing wrong with the gopi becoming proud and having sobhagamad. That is the becoming intoxicated with her own good fortune. Krishna treats the gopis in such a way to make them intoxicated with their own good fortune. And when he sees how happy he's made them, Krishna feels happy. So don't think this pride is a bad thing or a wrong thing or a material thing. But rather, see, Krishna wanted to have the Rasa Leela dance in a circle with all the Braja Gopis. And one of the symptoms of Garva or the Sanchari Bhav of pride is you don't notice other persons. You become neglectful of what other persons are doing. Then how can you have a group dance? So this was an obstacle. And they were not recognizing the supreme position of Srimati Radhika. So Krishna is Vidagdha. He's so expert. He disappeared from the Rasa Leela, taking Radhika with him. And then he also abandoned Radhika. And so because he disappeared with Radhika, and the gopis who were searching everywhere found his footprints and saw Radhika's footprints next to them, then they realized, oh, in meeting, Radharani's love is higher than ours. Her love is the greatest. And when they followed those footprints and found Radhika unconscious in separation, they saw the greatness of her separation mood. And they realized, oh, in separation, Radhika's love for Krishna is greater. So Radhika's love is greater than our love in meeting and separation. And all gopis, no matter what group they are from, they became astonished and filled with admiration for Radhika. So what happens if you show respect to someone? When you honor a great person, then their good qualities come to you. Understand? The more we honor our Gurudev and pure Vaishnavas, the more we become Vaishnav. Our Vaishnavata, our Vaishnavism increases because their qualities come. That's why it's important to do puja, to worship your Guru every day, slowly, slowly. Gurudev, by mercy, as the respect is going up, the kripa will come down. So because all the Braj Gopis, they gave great respect to Radhika at that time, so her prem spread out, and all the Braj Gopis, they were all lifted. Just like at high tide, then all the boats go up. So in the same way, when all Braj Gopis saw her love is the greatest in meeting and the greatest in separation, then everyone's prem went up by the influence of Srimati Radhika's presence. And then Krishna knew, I can again appear, and this time we'll have Rasa Lila. They will not be inattentive to each other, but everyone will dance together with Radhika in the center. And then this will be so perfect. So when Sri Krishna had disappeared, the gopis, they found Srimati Radhika and they brought her back into external consciousness. So usually the gopis, they're in different groups. Radhika's group, Swapaksh. Chandravali's group, Vipaksh. Shamala's group, Surit Paksh, they are favorable to Radhika's group. And the group of Bhadra, she is the Tatastha Paksh. She's friendly to Chandravali's group, but neutral to Radhika's group. So in this way, usually there are different groups. But just as there are wells of water, there are lakes of water, there are rivers, and they're all separate. But when there's a flood, it rains so much and there's a flood, then they all overflow and they become one. One big, huge lake. So in the same way, though the gopis are separate, when there's competition for meeting with Krishna, when they're all in separation, then the prem overflows and they become in one big group. So all gopis together, they were searching in the forest looking for Krishna. But they knew, if Krishna does not want to be seen by us, then as we go deeper into the forest to look for him, he'll just recede deeper and deeper into the forest. So we don't want to give Krishna any trouble to make him keep going further and further into the forest. And they all came together on the bank of Jamuna, and they began to cry. And their weeping is Gopi Geet. When you read Gopi Geet, when you hear Gopi Geet, you should not, it is not amenable to a person who is holding on to their mature ego. If you think my name is this and that, and I am from North Carolina or Florida or wherever, Canada, wherever you come from, Atlanta, then you cannot understand any of these things. All worldly identification has to give up. And one should think, I am sitting on the bank of the Ganga in the audience where Parikshit Maharaj is hearing from Shukadev Goswami. And Shukadev Goswami is speaking, and by heart I am there and listening and praying, oh please, by your mercy, reveal the nectar of your words. Otherwise, one should pray, when will I be on the bank of Jamuna? And I will hear the gopis themselves directly speaking these words. Bhajan requires the avesh, complete absorption. If we are absorbed in Maya and material identities, then there's no question of any bhajan. So come with me onto the bank of Jamuna in Vrindavan, where gopis are crying, Braja Janartihan Veera Yoshitan Nijajana Smaya Dvanksanasmita Bhaja Sakhe Bhavat Kinkarismano Jalaruhashanam Charudashaya. Oh Krishna, you must be hiding here somewhere in a kunj and watching us and relishing our pain. How strange it is. Why? Braja Janarti Han. You are the person who, Han, that means you destroy the arti, the suffering of Brajajan. It's your nature. Whenever any Brijbasi is in a suffering condition, everyone was shivering and freezing from the cold wind and rain sent by Indra. And what did Krishna do? Sri Giridhari ki jai. So Krishna is famous. Brajajanatihan, he destroys whatever suffering is there in the Brajabasis. So gopis are saying, in a sarcastic way, Braja Janatihan. You save all the Brijbasis from suffering, and now we are dying, we are burning in the blazing fire of separation from you. And you are just hiding in the bushes somewhere and laughing, watching us, and relishing our pain. What happened? Braja Janatihan. Oh, Braja Janatihan, what are you doing? Braja Janatihan, Veera Yoshitam. Means Veera Yosh, you are a hero, Veer. Among whom? Yoshitam. Among ladies. Oh Krishna, all ladies are attracted to you. Here you combine this with the first words, Braja Janatihan Veera Yoshitam. The meaning is, Krishnam Niriksha Banitutsava Rupa Shilam Shrutva Chatat Kwanita Venu Vivikta Geetam Devyo Vimana Gatayas Maranuna Sara Brasyat Prasuna Kabara Mumuhu Binibhyaha. In Venu Geet, the gopis say, oh, Krishna is a festival for all ladies. Vanita Utsava. Vanit means ladies. And Utsava. Krishna is a festival for all ladies. How? Krishnam Niriksha. When they see him. And Venu Swanak Anita Venu Vivikta Geetam. And when he plays upon his flute and they hear the sound of his flute, Devyo Vimana Gatayo Smaranunasa. Even in the sky, there are Vimanas, the flower airplanes of the demigods and demigoddesses. And when Krishna plays his flute, and he looks so beautiful, the demigoddesses, the wives of the devatas, in their flower airplanes, they see Krishna, and he's a festival for their eyes. Smaranuna Sara, and they become afflicted with intense desire. They want to become the lovers of Krishna, and this intense desire is giving them pain. Brasyat Prasuna Kabar, everyone knows that the demigods shower flowers on Krishna. But what they don't know is actually the demigoddesses are not showering the flowers intentionally, but rather their hair is tied in a tight braid. And flowers are tucked into the woven hair of their braid. And one of the symptoms of intense desire is if your hair is tied tightly, it all comes loose and opens. So because they're afflicted by intense desire, seeing Krishna and hearing the sound of his flute, their braids come open, and then the flowers fall from their braids, and then they fall from their airplanes in the sky. And they're showering flowers on Krishna. It is not like Esha, Pushpanjali and offering. Just Mumuhu, and they faint. And the strings that tie their skirts make the knots automatically become loose, and their cloth starts to slip off. And they faint even in the laps of their husbands. But their husbands don't become jealous. In fact, the husbands become embarrassed. Because even the husbands become amorously attracted to Krishna, and they think, what is this? Purus Yoshit Kibas Tavra Ganjam Sarvachitakasha Sakshat Manmata Madan. Krishna's Kaviraja Goswami Pad said, what to speak of attracting females? Krishna attracts males also. And because he's Adi Purush and everyone else is Prakriti in relation to Krishna. So the gopis are saying, Veera Yoshitam, you are the hero of all ladies, but Braja Janatihan, you only take away the suffering of the Brajajan, the residents of Vrindavan. Why? Because we came and we met with you and you were dancing with us in the Rasalila before you disappeared. And in this way you took away our suffering of separation, but you never went and helped those female demigoddesses. Why? Why doesn't Krishna go and have a rendezvous with the demigoddesses? Because they don't have the Prem. They have a rati, but this is a Sadarni rati like Kubja. Sadarni rati means they want to enjoy with Krishna. They want to enjoy with Krishna. Whereas the gopis, they never think about their own enjoyment. They only want to give enjoyment to Krishna. So Krishna will meet with gopis, but he will not meet with the demigoddesses, those ladies. Brajajanatihan Vera Yoshitan Nija Janasmaya Dvanksanasmita means, O Krishna, Nija Janasmaya. Here smay means garv, pride, or man, the contrary mood. Here gopis are saying Nija Janasmaya, they're referring to themselves. We are your Nija Jan. We are yours, we belong to you. And it's true. We became proud, or we became in man. The other gopis became proud and Radhika became in man. But they're saying, Dvanksanasmita, only your smile can remove our pride. In other words, Krishna, you did not need to abandon us in the middle of the night. If you just smiled, we would have given up our contrary mood. We would have given up our man, we would have given up our pride just by your smile. So why did you do this extreme act of abandoning us in the night? So Nijanasmaya Dvanksanasmita means, Krishna, if there's a mosquito, you don't have to use a Brahmastra. You know, Brahmastra means nuclear bomb. You don't have to use atom bomb to kill a mosquito. But that's what you have done, Krishna. Just by your smile, you could have taken away our pride. But what have you done? You have just disappeared. You have used the Brahmastra to kill a mosquito. This is the meaning of this. Bhaja sakhe bhavat kinkaris mano jalaruhananam charudashaya. Bhaja sakhe, sakhe, O Krishna, O friend. That means a friend should not intentionally give problems to their friend. Why would, if someone is your friend, why would he give pain to you? So they appeal to Krishna. Oh, Sakhe, Bhaja. Bhaja means reciprocate with us. This is one meaning. We have left everything just to please you. You reciprocate with us. So when the devotee feels that Krishna is indifferent to them, then what happens? Then the wave of humility comes and Dasya Bhav comes. So Bhaja Sakhe Bhavat Kinkaris Mano. We are your Kinkaris, we are your maidservants. You see, so here, this is why Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is quoting this verse in this context of discussing how the Dasya Bhav rises up in the tender moments of humility due to the intense Prem. So reciprocate with us. Oh, you're not reciprocating with us? We are your maidservants. Another meaning here. Bhaja means serve. Bhaja Sakhe, serve us. Why would the gopis say serve us? Because this is the nature of Prem. Prema dvayo rasikayo ayedipa eva ridbesha bhasyati nishkala eva bhati. That love is never expressed directly. It is hidden. And even sometimes it is expressed in the opposite way. But those who have love understand that when love is expressed in the opposite way, it means it is not against love. Just like when Braja Gopis and Krishna meet, they don't start complimenting each other, they start insulting each other. Oh, you thief, get away. So they criticize each other. But the subtitle or the translation of this insult is I love you. Because this is the nature of Braja Prem. So when gopis say, oh Krishna, serve us, then they understand that Krishna hears it, that, oh, they're saying, we want to serve you. But they're saying the opposite, because that's the nature of Braja Prem. Understand? This is why Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur said, Shabdartha is not Shastrat. The meaning of the words is not the meaning of the scripture. So Bhajasake, Krishna serve us. Krishna hears it. Ooh. That means, they're saying, they mean, we want to serve you. Otherwise, it means Bhajasake. You should serve us as you served us before. Why? Because when Krishna played his flute, whatever the gopis were doing, they just dropped and they ran to meet Krishna. Some gopis were decorating themselves and they were so flustered that they put the necklace around their waist and the waist wells around their neck. Some gopis, they were putting kajal on one eye. And they heard the sound of the flute and they just ran there, still with the pencil in their hand. With only one eye made up. So when the gopis arrived there at the Rasalila, first Krishna teased them and made them cry a little bit, and then after some fun, then he accepted them. And he began to play with them in the Rasalila. And Krishna said, what have you done? Your necklace is around your waist and your waist bells are around your neck. Come here. And then Krishna himself, he removed the necklace from and put it on the neck and the waist bell and put it on the waist. So the gopi who had kajal on one eye said, come here. And then Krishna himself took the pencil and he put the kajal on the other eye. So because Braj gopis are remembering all the beautiful moments when Krishna accepted them and he himself was serving them. So they're saying, Bhajasake, oh friend, serve us. Why? But that's not for their happiness, because when Sri Krishna meets with Radhika and the gopis and he's serving them, then Krishna himself has said, Man madhurya radha prema dui horakari barik barik shane te duhe keho nai hari yadyapi nimal radha sat prema darpan yadyapi nirmal radha sat prema darpan Swachat tare bare shanikshan. Krishna said, even though my sweetness is everywhere, all pervading, I cannot get sweeter than I already am. I'm unlimitedly sweet. But still, the heart of Radhika is a Sat Prema Darpan. It's like the mirror of pure love. And in the mirror of Radhika's pure love, then her love is increasing moment by moment. And when my sweetness is reflected in the mirror of her pure love, then my sweetness increases. Man madhurya radha prema dui horakari. And when my sweetness increases, then her love increases. And then my sweetness increases and her love increases. When Braj Gopis see Krishna, they begin to glow. And that glow gives happiness to Krishna. When he sees it, he begins to glow. And when they see Krishna glowing more, then they begin to glow more. And at each moment, Radha and Krishna are becoming sweeter and sweeter. And their prem is increasing. So especially when Krishna is putting the kajal on the gopis' eyes or decorating them with ornaments, this is the most sweet and beautiful moment. And gopis see, even though Krishna is serving me, this is giving Krishna happiness. Therefore they say, Bhaja Sakhe Bhavat Kinkari Smano. Oh Krishna, we are your Bhavat Kinkari. That means we are your maidservants. Because they're feeling so wretched in this moment of separation and humility is rising. So they said, we are your maidservants. Jalaruhananam charu dasha. It was as if Krishna appeared in their hearts and said, then, what do you want me to do? I am here. What do you want me, if I come, what do you want me to do? Gopi say, Jalurohananam, your face is like a lotus flower. Beautiful. Charu, darshaya. Just show us your lotus face. This is also such profound dhwani. Suggestion is here. Actually, gopis want much more than from Krishna than just show your lotus face. But they're saying Jaluruhananam charudashaya. That means just show us your lotus face, and when you come back and show us your face, then we'll tell you what to do next. This is the suggestion. They have so many beautiful ideas to serve Krishna. Otherwise, some gopis, they are in the Bhamya Bhav, contrary mood. So, Bhajasake Bhavat Kinkaris Mano. They say, oh, we are your Kinkaris. But Bhajasake Abhavat Kinkari. You should serve those who are not your maidservants. Because Sake and Bhavat, this can mean Abhavat. Because in grammar, then if the word is the word, it begins with the Arama, but the previous word begins with the E, then the Arama is Hara, it will disappear. So here, Bhajasake Bhavat, King Karismano, oh Krishna, you go and serve those who are not your maidservants. We are your maidservants. You should serve those who are not your maidservants. Jalurohananam charu dashaya. Here, no means now. Certainly don't show your face to us. But if a gopi in man says, oh, you go and serve those who are not your maidservants, don't show your beautiful face to us. What does it mean? Exactly. Just like if some woman is angry with a boyfriend, she says, I hate you. But what does it mean? It means the opposite. Otherwise, you wouldn't even talk to him. So, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraja is presenting these beautiful words of gopis to show what? Krishna Prema ek apurva prabhav guru samalagake kare dasya bhav. It's the unprecedented nature of Prem that it causes the appearance of dasya bhav. And here's the appearance of kinkari bhav. Oh, we are your maidservants in Madhurya Rasa. So then, Krishnadas Kaviraja Goswami gives another verse. Apibatamadya Apibatamadapuriyam Arya Putro Dunaste Smarati Sapitagehan Saumya Bandang Stagopam Katamapi Katana Kinkarinam Grinite Bujamagaru Sugandam Modedastat Kadanu. The previous verse was spoken by the Braj Gopis in Gopi Geet. This verse is spoken directly by Radhika herself. When Uddhav was watching from a distance, Radhika had fainted, and then a bumblebee was flying around her feet, and she came back to external sense. And then she thought this bumblebee was a messenger that was sent from Mathura by Krishna. So she began to argue with the bumblebee, and that is called Brahmar Geet. Madhupakitava bandhu mas prashangrim sapatnya. Oh, it's very beautiful, unlimited katha. Sometimes she criticizes the bumblebee, sometimes she criticizes Krishna. But after some time, the bumblebee flew away. And then Radhika immediately became filled with regret. Oh, I didn't mean to say all those things, but now the bumblebee will go and tell Krishna everything I said. Oh no! But then she saw the bumblebee again. Jiva Goswami comments that it might have been even just a different bumblebee. But anyway, in Radharani's mind, the bumblebee had quickly gone to Mathura and come back again. And she thought, oh, Krishna is so kind, even though he heard my very long list of insults. He still did not give up, and he sent his messenger again. So this time, when she saw the bumblebee, then Radhika was very polite and humble. Priyasaka puna agata. Oh, my dear friend. She welcomes the bumblebee. Oh, dear friend, you have come back. You have been sent by my beloved again. And then she spoke very kindly about Sri Krishna. And she's saying, Abhi Batamadupuri Aya Putro Dunaste. Alas, alas. Now Aryaputra. Aryaputra is an address used actually by a wife for a husband. So even though Radhika is in the Parakya Bhav, she's calling Krishna Aryaputra. In great humility. Oh, Aduna stay. Now he's just returned because Krishna had gone to very far away to Gurukul to study 64 arts in 64 days under Sandipani Muni. So then after a few months he came back to Mathura. She said, oh, Krishna has returned to Mathura now. Smarti Sapitri Gehan. Does Krishna remember his father's home? Does he remember Nanda Maharaj, Madhya Yashoda, and Nanda Bhavan? Somya Bandungs Chagopa. Does he remember his family members and the cowherd boys? Really, she wants to ask, does he remember me? But she can't. She's talking about everything else. Everyone else. Because she's surprised. Oh, I have no blood relation with Krishna. You know, they say blood is thicker than water. How can someone give up their own family? So she's thinking, oh, Krishna, he can give up me because we are not related. We have no official relation. But how can he forget his mother and father and all his relatives and his friends? And then she asks, Kwachid apisa katham na king karinam grihite. Does he sometimes speak about us? Oh, bumblebee, does Krishna sometimes speak about us? So even negatively. That means, is he sometimes relaxing with his arm around the beautiful princess of from the Yadu dynasty and Mathura and says to her, oh, you're so educated and sophisticated and aristocratic, not like those rustic village girls I used to hang around with in my youth. Does he speak about us in a negative way? Or does he speak about us in a positive way? When they give him garlands and betel nut and fan him, then he might say, duh, you don't make garlands so as well as my gopis in Vrindavan. You don't know how to make the tambul like my gopis of Vrindavan. Does he speak about us in any way positively or negatively? Sometimes does he stand in front of a mirror and put on a shirt that we made for him, that he brought with him from Braj to Mathura, and look at himself, his reflection in the mirror, and wonder, oh, what have I done? Remembering us seeing that shirt. What have I done? Bhujamaguru Sugandham Mudidastakadanu. And will he return and place his hand, which is fragrant of agur, that means ud, and will he place his fragrant hand on our heads? That means if someone is giving a benediction, they place the hand on the head. So Radhika is actually having a spurti of Krishna returning and putting his hand on her head and saying, oh my pran priyatam, my beloved, most dear to me than my life. I left Vrindavan. I went all over the universe. I met ladies from the higher planets, the earth planets, and from the lower planets. But nowhere could I find anyone as beautiful and loving, as qualified as you. So now I've returned and I'll never leave you again. I give you this benediction. Will Krishna place his hand on my head? And as she was saying this, she had the spurti of Krishna returning and she fainted and became unconscious again. So you can see in this verse in the third line, Kvachidapasakatam na kinkarinam grinhite. Does Krishna sometimes speak about kinkari? His kinkaris, his maid servants. So although Radhika herself is a Yuteshri, she's a leader of her group of gopis. And Krishna himself serves the lotus feet of Radhika. But Radhika, due to in separation, the wave of humility came and she said, I am just a kinkari, maidservant of Krishna. Krishnadas Kaviraja Goswami gives another example. Yeah. Ha nata ramana prashta. Dasaste kripanaya me sake darshya sannidhim. This verse was spoken during the Rasa Lila, at the very moment after Radhika had been enjoying with Krishna in a beautiful kunj, and Krishna had combed and decorated the hair of Radhika with jasmine flowers. Then Krishna was thinking, if we stay here any longer, there's a danger that other gopis wandering through the forest may find us. So he suggested to Radhika, let's go and see this beautiful place over here. Tato gatva vaduddeshan dripta keshavam abravit na parayam chalitum nayamam yatrate mana. Radharani, when Krishna said we should go to the next area in the forest, then Radhika, she was very proud that Krishna decorated her. And she said, "Oh Keshava, na paraye chalitam, I cannot walk any further. Nayamam yatratema, you can carry me wherever you want." So Krishna said, "Of course." And he knelt down, he said, "Just sit on my shoulder." And as he knelt down, Radhika looked, and then there was no Krishna. And he was gone. And at once, Radhika just burst out crying, "Ha Nata!" Nat means Lord. Whenever you see the word Nat in Madhurya Rasa, just take it away and replace it with the word Pran. Oh, Pran, that means I cannot live. Now you have left, I cannot live without you. I'm dying right now. Oh, Ramana. Ramana means lover. Actually, this very place where Radhika called this verse, this is the place where Radharaman appeared. That's why his name is Radharaman. Because in that very place where he appeared, this is underneath the pipal tree, just very close to what is now the Radharaman temple. There, Radhika said, "Ha Nata, O Ramana." Ramana means, you are my beloved. Preshta, and you are most dear to me. That means that even though you have many Ramanis, the happiness that you experience when you meet with me is something special. So you are my Ramana. You should come back and experience such happiness you cannot experience anywhere else. Ha Nata Ramana Preshta. Where are you? Where are you? It was as if she could hear Krishna's voice saying, but your pran is just leaving your body right now. Even if I come, it will be too late. You will be gone. Radhika says, "No, Mahabhuja, your arms are so great. They're like a Maha Aushadi, a healing herb. And if you'll just embrace me, it will bring me back to life." Radhika said, now here's the word Dasya. You see how the Dasya Bhav comes, even though it's Madhurya Rasa, because of her intense Dainya Bhav, humility at that moment. She says, "Dasya Ste, I am your maid servant. Kripanaya me, be merciful unto me." Krishna said, "Look, if you are my maidservant, then why did you tell me to carry you around in the forest? I'm a prince. I'm the son of Nanda Maharaj. If you're my maidservant, why did you order me to carry you around?" Radhika said, "Sakhe, oh, because you personally served me and decorated my hair, combing my hair and decorating me with jasmine flowers. Then I saw you as my friend. Darsha Sannidhim. Now, for the sake of giving me your darshan, come close to me, come back to me." So Krishnadas Kaviraja Goswami is giving this. You can see he's giving such beautiful examples of tender moments from the life of Nanda Maharaj, from the life of the cowherd boys, from the life of Balaram, from the life of the gopis, from the life of Radhika, when the Dasya Bhav rose up within their own rati, their own relation of Krishna, either Vatsalya, Sakya or Madhurya. So, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraja Goswami, he does not give this example, but I want to give one more beautiful example from Srila Rupa Goswami in this regard. Rupa Goswami Pad, he wrote in his Lalit Madhav that when Krishna went to Mathura, Radhika became mad and she fainted. And when she woke up, she thought that Akrura taking Krishna to Mathura was just a bad dream. She was so bewildered by the Divyan Mad Udgirna, Adiruddha Mahabhav. So she woke up, she told her Saki, I had a terrible dream. Krishna was taken away to Mathura by Akrura. So if you have a bad dream, you should go and take bath in a holy river. It will wash off the effects of the bad dream. So Radhika said, let's go to the Jamuna and wash off the effects of this bad dream. So the Sakis of Radhika, they love her so much. They saw that she was getting some relief from her separation by thinking that Krishna, it was just a dream that he had left. So they didn't have the heart to tell her, well, actually. So they just played along with it. So then Vishakha, she set off with Radhika and she went north to Kelanvan. And there at Kela Tirtha on the bank of Jamuna, Radhika in the madness of separation saw Krishna playing in the water. And he's calling me. And Radhika jumped into the Jamuna and disappeared. So at that time, Jamuna is the daughter of the sun god. So Jamuna Devi carried Radhika up to the sun planet. And then the Surya Dev was being worshipped by Shatrajit. And Surya Dev gave Radhika as a gift to become the daughter of Shatrajit. And Shatrajit sent her to Dwarka sometime later because he'd basically insulted Krishna and he wanted to make amends because he'd spread some rumors which were untrue about Krishna. So to apologize and make amends, he gave his beautiful daughter, sent his beautiful daughter to Dwarka. But at that time, Krishna was away. He was fighting in the cave of Jambavan for so many days. So in this way, Radhika arrived in Dwarka thinking that Krishna was in Mathura. And she was thinking, my father sent me to be married to the prince of Dwarka, but I don't want to be married to anyone. I only love Krishna. So it was a confusing situation. And so she was hiding. So when Rukmini saw Radhika has now come in the form of Satyabhama, then Rukmini saw that, her father has sent her to marry my husband. And she's so beautiful. If my husband will marry her, then where will I be? My position will be diminished. This is a disaster. So then Rukmini said to Satyabhama, I can fulfill all your desires, what you want. Then Satyabhama said, I only have one desire. I don't want to see the face of any man. Hide me somewhere. Then Rukmini, she thought, this is music to my ears. It's quite unexpected, but this is exactly what I wanted. So then she hid Radhika in one garden in the Dwarka that was made by Vishwakarma while Krishna was away, called Nava Vrindavan. And it was a garden, like a theme park, that was a replica of actual Vrindavan. And there were so many murtis, there were so many statues there. There were statues of the different Brajabasis. And there was a statue of Krishna there also. So when Radhika, who was feeling so much pain of separation from Krishna, went into this garden, in the distance she saw the murti of Krishna. Very beautiful deity of Krishna, made from sapphires, carved by Vishwakarma, the architect of the demigods. Exactly like Krishna. Now, in separation, if Shrimati Radhika sees a tamal tree, the color is just somewhat like Krishna's color. But really, it's not really like Krishna's color that much. And the shape and everything. But Radhika, seeing a tamal tree, due to intense love, thinks it's Krishna and embraces the tree. So if Radhika in separation will see a deity of Krishna made by Vishwakarma, what will she think? So when Radhika saw the deity of Sri Krishna there, she just, Krishna is here. And Radhika approached him. And she began to look at him and smile in her coquettish way. But Krishna was just not responding at all. What is that? Remember, this is that we're discussing that the humility comes in the Prem if the person detects that Krishna is udasin, indifferent to me. So at that moment when Radhika was glancing at Krishna and smiling, and there was no reaction from Sri Krishna, then Radhika, she said, Premna vyakti kritam hiha tata ko mattoram tvayagre. Premna vyakti kritam hiha tata ko malatvam tvayagre. Jaina gyato nikila vidibir mamakinas tvamashihi. Katinyam te viditamaduna tadrishamahanta yasmat. Sambhavyo bud ayamapi name tavakattvabhimanaha. The meaning is, Oh Krishna, previously when I met with you, the Premna Vyakti Kritam, you manifested such love. Komalatvam Tvayagre. You were so soft and tender with me. The way that you spoke, the way that you served me. Yena gyato nikila vidibhir mamakinas tamashi. And at that moment, then I knew fully that you are mine. Radhika had that pranay, that vishramba, that confidence. Krishna is mine. He's fully dedicated to me. But that was before. Tvayagre. Before, that's how you treated me. You showed such love and tenderness to me before that I was sure that in all ways you are mine. But now, katindyam te, now you are showing such hardness. Hanta, alas, yasmat sambhava buddhayamapi name tavakattvabhimana. Now what to think that you are mine? Now I cannot even have the abhiman, the pride that I am yours. Even that I am yours. So how beautiful this is, that there is so much poetry, beautiful poems describing the love of the various Brajbasis and Gopis, and even Krishna, the Radhika's love for Sri Krishna. And they go to such higher and higher stages. But just when you think that you've come to the highest stage, the highest note, then you'll always find out that Rupa Goswami has another octave that you never imagined. Because Krishna Das Kaviraja is describing that the Dasya Bhav comes. But in Dasya Bhav, even though in Madhurya the Dasya Bhav appears, but Dasya Bhav is characterized by what? Mamata, possessiveness. And even in Madhurya Rasa, those who have Madhu Sneha, like Radhika, they feel, Krishna, you are mine. And those who have Grita Sneha, like Chandravali, they feel, Krishna, I am yours. So you are mine is superior to I am yours. So Radhika's love is such. Even if Dasya Bhav will come, then she'll still think, but you are mine. But here she's saying, I used to think that you are mine in all ways, but now you've become so hard and indifferent to me, I cannot even have the pride that I am yours. It's another note in an octave far above anything else. Rupa Goswami's poetry is incomparable. This is why when Ramananda Rai heard the poetry of Rupa Goswami for the first time, he said, Kim kavyena kavestasya Kim kandena danushmata parasya hridaye lagnam na gurnayati yatshira. The meaning is, what is the use of the poetry of the poet? Or what is the use of the arrow of the bowman if it enters the heart, but it does not cause the head to spin? So this is Rupa Goswami's poetry. It's an octave above everyone else ever. So now we want to come to the Dwani, Anudwani, Pratidwani, the hidden suggestion, the suggestion inside the suggestion of Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami's sweet of beautiful verses here in Chaitanya Charitamrita. And that is that, who is Srila Krishnadas Kaviraja Goswami? He is the incarnation of Kasturi Manjari. Among the main 8 Manjaris of Srimati Radhika, he is the incarnation of Kasturi Manjari. And he is written in the beginning of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Anarpita charim chirat karunayavatirnaha kalo samarpayetam unnata ujjvala rasam swabhakti sriyam. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has appeared out of mercy in this age of Kali to give the Anarpita Chari Prem, that love that was not given ever before, except for by himself the last time he came. In another day of Brahma. What is that? Unnat Ujjvala Rasam, the highest mellow of Parakya Ras, the unwedded love of Srimati Radhika to Krishna, that cannot be given to anyone. Swabhakti Sriyam, but the beauty of that love, the light, the effulgence, the aura emanating from Radhika's love, and that is Radha Dasyam. Radha Dasyam. Service to Radhika. So we should know that our Vishwanath Thakur has explained, Tha vidyut ujjati jayid prapadaika reika vaidagja eva kila murtri britastatapi yutesharitvam api sanyad arochayitva dasa amritabdir anusasnur ajasramasya. The meaning is that Rupa Manjari and the other maidservants, like Kasturi Manjari, the maidservants of Srimati Radhika, they are so extraordinarily beautiful that even one line on their toe is the more effulgent than a flash of lightning. So Kim Uta, what to speak of their whole lotus feet, what to speak of their beautiful forms and their beautiful faces and smiles and eyes and glances. How beautiful are these gopis, who are the dasis of Radhika. Not only that, they're not only beautiful. By Dagda Eva Kilamotri Bitas Tatapi, if you would collect all the arts of music and poetry and dancing and love and put them together and boil them in a pot until it became very condensed, and then you made one form out of that, it would be these manjaris. They're like the condensed form of all the arts. They're expert in every way because they have been trained by Radhika and Lalita and Vishaka and others in the Leela since they were very young. So they're expert in every way. And not only that, Yuteshwaritvam, if such a gopi is so qualified, then why is she a dasi? She could be a saki. No, Yuteshwaritvam, she could be a Yuteshwari. Each and every manjari is so qualified that they could be the leader of a group having so many sakis and so many manjaris, all arranging for them to directly meet and dance with Krishna in the Rasa Leela. Every single manjari is qualified to be a Yuteshwari. Arochet, but they don't have any taste in that. They don't want to be. But what do they want? Dasyam ritabdhim anusasya jasamas. They only wanted every moment to taste the nectarian ocean of Radha Dasyam, service to the lotus feet of Radhika. So we see that there are very high moments in the love of Nanda Maharaj where Dasya Bhav comes. There are very high moments in the love of the Sakas where Dasya Bhav comes. There are very high moments in the love of Balaram, when, in all these cases, when the wave of humility causes the manifestation of Dasya Bhav to become prominent. There are very high moments in the love of the gopis in separation when Krishna has disappeared from the Rasa Leela. And so on. But there are certain gopis of Vrindavan whose tender love is such that not at some special moments, but at every moment, at every single moment, though they're absorbed in Madhurya Rasa and can be heroines, they only want to be das. dasis, the maidservants of Radhika. So how glorious is the position of the Manjaris. And this is the inner meaning of this presentation of Chaitanya Charamrita by the incarnation of Kasturi Manjari. They never speak directly. He said, what I want to say, it is so confidential, it should not be said. So I'll say it in such a way that only the devotees will understand, and others, they will have no idea what I'm expressing. So this is called Bhavalasarati. Bhavalasarati means if the love for Krishna and the love for your Sakhi, like Radhika or Lalita, is equal, is less. The love for your Sakhi is less or equal to the love for Krishna. Then that love for the friend is a Sanchari Bhav. But if the love for your Sakhi, like for example, the love for Radharani, is more than the love that you have for Krishna, then it's still a Sanchari Bhav, but it has a special name. It is called Bhavalas. And that Rati, which is Yukta, which is imbued with Bhavalas, a permanent Sanchari Bhav, has come in the superior position that love for Radhika is reigning even over love for Sri Krishna, permanently. Due to humility, they could put themselves first and be directly Krishna's lovers. They could put themselves second and become the Sakhis of Radhika, but no, they put themselves third. We are the maidservants of the Sakhis of Radhika. This is why Mahaprabhu said, Gopi Bhatu Pada Kamalayo Das Anudasaha. Radhika is Das of Krishna, Lalita is Das of Radhika, and we are Dasi of Lalita, that is Manjaris, maidservants. Das Anudasaha. And so the humility in Prem causes this bhav to manifest. Oh, Radhika is so qualified. She can give more happiness to Krishna than me. Let me just be her maidservant. So my Gurudev used to say, oh, you want a Siddha Pranali? I'll give you Siddha Pranali. Trinadapi sunichena tarodapi sesuna amanena manadena ketanya sadahari. To be more humble than a blade of grass. It corresponds to the stage of Nishta in this world. But when the devotee becomes very advanced, it is not that is not given up, but rather the humility becomes deeper and deeper. And so, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami Pad, he said, Tambularpana pada madana payodana bisara dibi brindaranya maheshwarim prayatya yastoshanti praya prana prasta saki kulada pikala sankochita bhumika keli bhumishu rupa manjari makasta dasika sangsray. I take complete shelter of Rupa Manjari and her group. Rati Manjari, Labanga Manjari, Kasturi Manjari, Manjulali Manjari, Vilas Manjari. I take shelter of Rupa Manjari and her group. Why? Tambulapana, as maidservants. They are, when Radha and Krishna meet, then the Sakhis, though they are great and they are superior in all ways, and I bow down to them again and again. But those Sakhis, they have to make themselves scarce, because Radha and Krishna will be embarrassed in the presence of their contemporaries when they're in a private place. So they recede. But the young maidservants, they can enter into the kunj at that time. And when Radha and Krishna are reclining together on a bed of flowers, tambulapana padama, they can offer the delicious tambul to refresh Radha and Krishna. Padamadana, massaging their lotus feet. Tambulapana padamad payodan, they bring water and they dip the one very soft cloth in the rose water and they wipe away all the smudges of the cosmetics of Radha and Krishna. Abhisar, they take Radhika on Abhisar in a secret journey through the forest to meet with Sri Krishna, and so many other services by which they are so dear to Srimati Radhika. Therefore, Keli Bhumishu Rupa Manjari Mukasta Dasika Sangsray, I take complete shelter of Rupa Manjari and her associates. This is the conclusion that of Krishna Prema ek apurva prabhav, Guru Samu Lagake, whatever rasa you're in, Kare Dasya Bhav. Due to humility, Dasa comes, and especially in Madhurya Rasa, the maidservants of Radhika. They are permanently in this state of the service. Seva, seva, seva. Padabjayastababina baradasameva nanyat khadapi samaye kila devi yache sakyayate mama namostu namostu nityam dasyayate mama rasostu rasostu satyam. Oh Radhika, I will never ask you for anything. No, I want to give you a benediction. No. Yes, no, please come and sit here and be my Sakhi. I'll give you my own cloth. You can wear this skirt I am wearing. I'll give you one. No, I don't want anything. Just come and be my Sakhi. No, I don't want to be your Sakhi. Sakyayate mama namostu namostu. I bow down to Lalita Vishaka and Chicha Champakalata, Tungavidya Induleka Rangadeva and Sudevi, eternally again and again. Then what do you want? Dasyayate mama rasostu rasostu satyam. Satyam means it is my vow, it is my sankalpa, that I only want to experience the ever-fresh nectar of being your Dasi. Srila Krishna's Kaviraja Goswami Pada ki jai, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Srila Rupa Goswami Pada ki jai, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami Pada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bo, Vrindavan Bihari Lala ki jai, Jai Jai Sri Radhe.